Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. It's that time of the month again, so in today's video we will be taking a look at my top 10 upcoming sneakers for the month of April. Now I know I'm a couple of days late, which I do want to apologise for. We've had a lot of reviews to get through, so it's kind of pushed this one a little bit back. But we're here now, we're ready to do this video, and I'm really excited for you guys to see it. So I'm not trying to make this intro any longer than it needs to be. I just want to welcome back all of my returning subscribers. If you're new around here and you haven't done so already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video just like this. If you do enjoy the video, a big thumbs up definitely goes a long way in helping getting this video out to more and more people. And if you do want to reach out to me for any reason whatsoever, you can find me most active on Instagram under ACS Sneakers. And now all the formalities are taken care of, sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and dive straight into this video. So just quickly before we dive into the video itself, just like I say at the start of each and every one of these videos, all the information that we are about to discuss does come courtesy from the Source Supplier's website. Now I will make sure to leave a link in my description box below to the Source Supplier, as well as a link to their raffle guide as well, if you do want to check out any of these releases in any more detail. Do also take these dates with a pinch of salt. As we all know, dates can change at any given time for any given reason without any notice really. So just enjoy this video, don't take it too seriously, and with the dates, don't take them too seriously at all because you know what it is. But with all that said, let's go ahead and dive straight into this list. So to kickstart this video, the very first release that we are taking a look at is a collaboration. Now this collaboration is between Polaroid and Nike for the Nike SB Dunk Low in the Pro Black colorway. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 5th of April for a retail price of £109.95 or £110 just to round it up. When I first saw it, I honestly wasn't too bothered by it. It kind of just is one of those shoes. Almost kind of looks like a custom in my opinion. I don't know if you guys are getting that vibe as well. But when I actually started to read a little bit more about the details, so for example, the swooshes on the side are supposed to signify Polaroid's message about capturing the moments beyond the rainbow. It started to look a little bit more of an interesting proposition for me. I'm honestly not a fan of the white outsole because of the fact that it's going to get dirty, it's going to be hard to keep clean, and it's just going to be one of those shoes that looks quite dingy quite quickly. So because of that, I'm not sure if this is a personal for me, but I know there's a lot of people that watch my videos that like SBs, that like dunks in general. So I do expect that people who are tuning in will be interested in these and will be looking to pick them up. So if you are interested in picking these up, it should be available on Sneakers. There will also be raffles available already, and there will be plenty of information on the raffles guide on the Source Supplier's website. As I said in the intro, do check that out in my description box below. So moving on to the next show up on our list, which is again another collaboration. This time it's between Union LA and Nike for the Nike Dunk Low Argon, scheduled to be releasing on the 7th of April for a retail price of £165. Crazy price point, especially when you consider the fact that the Polaroid dunks are coming in at about 110, 165 for these. I have no reason as to why that is, but that is the price that is actually being quoted on end for their raffle, so I'm just going to go with that price point. Now, when it comes to the shoe itself, this is actually part of a pack, I believe. I believe it's called the Passport Pack. And this shoe has been doing crazy numbers in America. Everyone's been trying to get their hands on them. I've seen a bunch of reviews of the shoes. You know, it's a pretty nice colorway, I would say. I do actually like this blue colorway. I think the packaging that you get with it is interesting as well. Definitely adds to the overall release. But in general, for me, I think I'm actually going to, you know, pass on these. If I can get a pair to actually review on the channel, absolutely, I'm going to definitely try and do that for you guys. Now, this shoe will hopefully be releasing on Sneakers at some point. When that will be, I have absolutely no idea. And like I've said, the only raffle information is on end at the minute. But when it actually comes to this release, it's going to be absolute mayhem. Everyone's going to want a pair. The resellers will be after them. So do check out the raffles guide again. I'm going to keep repeating it because that is where all the information is going to be. So it looks like April is starting to shape up to be the month of collabs because again we have another collaboration. This time it's between OffWhite and Nike for the Nike Dunk Low in the white as well as the black colorway. Now they are scheduled to be releasing on the 8th of April for a retail price of £124.95. If you want to round that up again, £125 just to be easier. Now when it comes to this shoe, I'm honestly only including it in this video for your guys' benefit because for me this shoe is absolutely hideous. There are some questionable off-whites that I've just never really been a big fan of, and in general, I don't really resonate too much towards the Off-White brand. There are certain Off-White collaborations that I like, so I like the Off-White 4s, the 5s, but there are some very questionable ones, and unfortunately, this for me is just not a shoe that I'm at all interested in. Don't get me wrong, again, I'm going to say it, if I can get it for a review, I'm going for it on the day for that purpose. But this isn't a shoe that I'd keep in the personal collection whatsoever. Now, when it comes to the release itself, due to Virgil's untimely passing, I do want to say that, you know, rest in peace, Virgil. I think a lot more people are actually going to be attuned to this release than perhaps maybe before he passed away. I think because he may have had a hand in designing it and it has his Off-White brand, you know, as a collaboration with the release, I can see a lot of people wanting it just for that, you know, that personal sentimental reason. Don't get me wrong, that's not going to stop the resellers whatsoever. So the resellers are going to be out in full force to try and get this one. And we all saw that, you know, anything with Off-White on it could incredibly rose in price. And I can see that this will probably be quite expensive in that aspect as well. Now, this is already available on the Sneakers app, so do make sure to check that out. Click the little heart on it so you kind of like activating your, you know, acknowledgement of that release on the Sneakers app. Try and engage with it as much as you can. And I do believe that the raffles are already listed as well. Do make sure to do all you can to get these because I do expect that this shoe is absolutely gonna sell out. Now, the next shoe up on our list is again another collaboration, but a collaboration that I almost had to double take on. This time, the collaboration is between KSI and Adidas for the Adidas Forum High in the black and red colorway. Now, this is also scheduled to be releasing on the 8th of April for a retail price of £90. And given everything I've said about the first three collaborations, that they're not necessarily speaking to me on a level that I want them for the personal collection, this one, however...
Shut up and take my money!
I could not believe it when I saw it, you know, the fact that KSI, this guy who started out on YouTube and he's done all of these incredible things, is now getting his own shoe. Honestly, I'm all for it. I love KSI. I think he's an absolutely incredible guy. And this is definitely a shoe I need for the personal collection. The shoe itself, super clean, super versatile. I don't actually have any forums in my collection at the minute, but this is definitely one I have to add. You can't go wrong when it comes to the black and red or the bread colorway. The whole shoe just looks fire to me. So this is definitely a collaboration that I'm on board for. Now, this is actually available on the Adidas app and not the Confirmed app, which is really weird and not something I was fully expecting whatsoever. So I got to shout out Soul Supplier for actually putting me onto this because otherwise I would have completely missed it, and I think quite a few people might be in that same boat. So if you actually want to get your hands on this for retail, head over to the Adidas app, get your reservation in, or, you know, enter the raffle or whatever it is. And I'm not actually sure if there are going to be raffles elsewhere. I haven't seen any so far, and if I do see any, I'll make sure to post it up on my community tab. Now, when it comes to the release itself, I can personally see this shoe selling out. KSI has one of the biggest and most hardcore following on YouTube, and I think he's going to be pushing it out like crazy. Every one of his hardcore fans is going to want a pair of these, so I can absolutely see this shoe selling out, and I think there may actually be a little bit of resale value there. Nothing crazy, but I could easily see this selling for £20 to £30 above retail. If it goes for more than that, I would be a little bit surprised, but I can see it, you know, the fact of the matter is, it is KSI. So moving on to the next shoe up on our list, and I cannot believe it took us all the way to number 5 before we actually got a release by Jordan brand, but here it is. The next release we are taking a look at is the Air Jordan 1 High Heritage in the white and red colorway. Now, this is scheduled to be releasing on the 9th of April for a retail price of £152.95, rounding it up again to £153, and this shoe is scheduled to be releasing in full family sizing. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've spoke about this shoe with quite a few different people, and for me personally, the colour blocking doesn't sit right with me. I don't know what it is, but I just don't think that that white and red combination actually works too well on the shoe. I don't want to seem like I'm just trashing every shoe on this list, but I've got to be completely honest about my take and my opinion on the shoe itself. I think in general, I think if they used a slightly different colour palette on this one, I think it could have been a lot better. But I get the fact, you know, it's a heritage release. They've got to put a bit of red in there for Chicago. So I get the whole thought process behind it, but the colour blocking, just as it looks from me, from like an aesthetics point of view, I think this is something that I can also pass on as well. I'm glad to say that we are getting full family size in here in the UK though. Doesn't tend to happen too often, so it is nice that you will be able to lace up the kids in these as well. So this is definitely going to be one of those releases that people are going to go crazy for. Whenever there's kid releases as well, I think a lot of us collectors do like to try and get a personal, one for the misses, one for the kids, and just kind of lace everybody up. So this is definitely a shoe I can see selling out in all sizes. There's definitely going to be resale value because, you know, even though Jordan 1s aren't necessarily reselling for what they were 2 years ago, it is a Jordan 1, it is going to sell out, and there will be money to be made for the resellers. This shoe is already up on the Sneakers app as well, so make sure you're engaging with the Sneakers app to let the algorithm know that this is a shoe you are interested in. So drop a heart, like on it, or whatever you need to do, but just make sure you're doing everything possible to put yourself in the best possible position, because again, this shoe is going to sell out. So just moving on to the next shoe up on our list, the next shoe that we are taking a look at is the Nike Air Trainer 1 Utility in the light smoke grey colourway. That is scheduled to be releasing on the 14th of April for a retail price of £150. Now, the last couple of Air Trainer ones that have released, they've been releasing at about £135, but that was before April. So with inflation, I'm not sure if 150 is accurate or if it's going to come in at 135. You'll just need to kind of check that out close to the release date. Now, we have had a lot of Air Trainer 1 releases this year and a lot of really great looking colorways, and this is definitely another great colorway to add into the personal collection. I keep telling myself that I'm going to add one into my collection, but then another release will come out and it'll just be something that I just put on the back burner. You know, the last colorway that released, that kind of like blackish colorway, that was one that I definitely wanted to grab, but I can't remember what released around that time. I think it was maybe the Jordan 6s, the Jordan 3s, and there's just so many releases to kind of keep us preoccupied that it's a very difficult process to kind of keep up to date with it all. So if April's a slow month for me and I'm taking a lot of L's, I would definitely wouldn't be mad at myself to pick these up for the personal collection. Again, I don't necessarily feel like this is a shoe that is going to sell out. All the other colorways are readily available, and I think this will be readily available as well. I think that this will just be a regular GR release, so it should be available at all your foot sites, and this one should also be releasing on Sneakers as well. So now we got that out of the way, we are back to business as usual when it comes to the collabs, as we have another collaboration for this list. This time it's between Clot and Nike for the Nike Dunk High in the metallic silver colorway. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 16th of April for a retail price of £150, and this for me is like the Silver Surfer of shoes. If you like Fantastic Four like I do, if you're interested in that Marvel vibe, this is a shoe I have to get. I have to see this. The promotional artwork for the shoe looks incredible. I'm not sure what the backstory is. I haven't read into all of that so far. I've really just spent a little bit of time looking at the shoes. Most of the time when it comes to Nike Dunks, whether it's high, lows, or SBs, I tend to pass on them, as we kind of touched on at the start of the video. But this for me, it's weird. It's wonderful in a way, I suppose, and it is definitely a shoe that I'm interested in trying to get for the personal collection. Clot have done a lot of collabs over the last couple of years with Nike. Some of them have been more successful than others, but I can see that this one is going to be, you know, I think it's going to do really well. Now, there isn't much information surrounding the release so far. We haven't had anything on Sneakers, the raffles haven't been listed, and there isn't too much information for me to go off. But just as like a general, you know, when it comes to Clot and Nike, it generally will be on the Sneakers app. I have no doubt about that. And the raffles will start to become available as we get closer to the release date. Pretty much like every shoe on this list, it is absolutely going to sell out. But I'm not going to even try and touch on the resale value because honestly, I have no idea. So it looks like we could potentially be getting 2 collaborations from Union this month. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 2 SP in the Grey Fog colorway, scheduled to be releasing on the 21st of April for a rumoured retail price of £225. What a price point for the shoe, just to point that out. Over £200 is a little bit questionable for me. I'm not sure if that's just rumoured or if that's going to be confirmed. As soon as I get more information on that, again, I will make sure to post that in the community tab. When it comes to the shoe, I'm just generally not a big fan of 2s in general, but if I had to pick one from all the recent releases, this is probably the pick of the bunch for me. I think the colorway is super clean, super easy to wear if you are just a basic dresser like me. You know, I just wear your basic clothes, basic colours to kind of match up to all the different kicks in my collection and kind of just let the shoes do the talking. And for me, this shoe is doing a lot of good talking.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This is a shoe that I'm absolutely going to be going for. I'm not sure if I will be able to get it. You know what happens when it comes to collaborations. And as we saw with the Off-Whites, they just tend to fly. Even if people say, I'm not a fan of Jordan 2s, they're still going for them. I'm the same. You know, I'm a hypocrite like the rest of us.
You're goddamn right.
Now, when it actually does come to the release itself, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit skeptical. I would honestly be quite surprised to see 2 Union collaborations in the same month, you know, in terms of the fact that we're getting the Dunks earlier in the month and then to get the Jordan 2s this month would be a little bit surprising, but it's definitely not out of the realms of possibility. So do make sure you are constantly checking all the different outlets that you can possibly check. So the Soul Supplier, subscribe to the channel so you can see all my updates on the community tab, and just generally just try and keep yourself up to date as best possible. When the shoe will actually release, it should be available on Sneakers, and all the usual raffles should also be available for this one as well. And again, this shoe, if you are after it, do everything you possibly can do, because this shoe again is going to sell out. So just moving on to the next one up on our list, the next shoe that we are taking a look at is the Nike Air More Up Tempo in the iron grey colourway. Now this is scheduled to be releasing on the 22nd of April for a retail price of £145, and honestly, it is about time we started to see more up tempos being released in men's sizing. Now when it comes to the UK and the More Up Tempo, we see a lot of really good grade school sizes and colourways, but we never really get too many men's releases. I'm constantly in Foot Locker, I'm constantly checking all of the, you know, the regular places, and whenever I look at the More Up Tempos, they're always in grade school sizing or even kids sizing. And the last 2 colourways that I can remember are the black and white that I already have, and then there was like a grey, you know, like midnight navy colourway that I passed on. But for this one, I'm absolutely going all in. This is a fire shoe. I like the fact that they got that big white swoosh running through the Air branding on the side of the shoe. I think it looks straight fire. I think it is a shoe that I have to have for the personal collection. It's not something I like to say when it comes to these shoe releases. You know, I never have to have it, but in a way, I've got to have it. You know, you know what I'm saying. So when it actually does come to the release itself, I can just see this being a pretty basic release, just releasing at your usual foot size, and I don't think that this shoe will sell out. I think it will be readily available if you really do want it. I also think that this will be releasing on the Nike app rather than Sneakers app, just because it's not one of your, you know, hype releases. So if you want it, I do expect that you fully will be able to get these. And last but by no means least, we've reached the very final one for today's list. The next one that we are going to be taking a look at is the Air Jordan 11 Low 72 and 10, scheduled to be releasing on the 23rd of April for a retail price of £190. Now, I do want to start off by saying this is a shoe that I can absolutely see being pushed back and not releasing in April. This is just what's being rumoured on the Soul Supplier website, but for me, I just honestly can't see it. There hasn't been a lot of information about this release so far, and I think for such a significant shoe like this, I think maybe at this stage, as we, you know, move into April, we would have probably known a little bit more by now. I could be wrong on that, and I've been wrong in the past, and I'm happy to be wrong, because this is 110% must-cop shoe for me. If it does release in April, this is definitely a contender for my shoe of the month, and is definitely one of those shoes that I feel like I have to get. I'm generally not a fan of Jordan 11 lows, or just any Jordan low, really, to be completely honest, but this is something that I will 110% be going for. If it does release, again, it will be available on Sneakers, and it should also be available via raffle. And when it actually comes to the release itself, I'm reluctant to say that it's going to sell out and do crazy numbers, even though that's kind of what I'm feeling inside. I'm a little bit reluctant to say that because certain Jordan 11 lows are still available even to this day. I can walk into certain places and still get certain Jordan 11 lows. Given the fact that it is the 72 and 10 colorway, I do expect that it is more likely to sell out than sitting on shelves, but I'm still not 100% sure on that, so I'm not going to go too far over the cliff and overly commit myself. But I do expect that this shoe, if you want it, should be readily available, but still do make sure to do all your footwork. So entering the raffles, getting up on the day for Sneakers, just put yourself in the best possible position so you don't take that L. And that's pretty much just my advice whenever it comes to a shoe that you actually want. You've got to make sure that you're putting that footwork in. And just like that, we finished my top 10 upcoming sneakers for the month of April. I do just want to say, again, I've said it throughout the video, do take these dates with a pinch of salt. There's a few questionable releases in there, but hopefully we've got most of them correct. Let me know what you guys think think in the comment section below. What shoe are you looking forward to the most, and what are you hoping to grab in April? And as I say in every one of my videos, if you have stuck around to this point, I want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video, and I hope to see you all again in the next one.